So what I hold in my hand now here is a cell phone. How many of you are dependent on your daily activities by using your cell phone? Everybody has a cell phone. But I want to talk from a different perspective today about artificial intelligence. And I want to address it from a customer service issue, artificial intelligence, and how to utilize in all our workplaces. First, one must understand what is artificial intelligence. It is a set of technologies that uses computers and different digital outlets to perform certain tasks. Many of you know our world is going to a more uh, digital computerized world. So today we want to dig deeper and talk about this phenomenon of artificial intelligence. So let's go to our first slide. We have some research here, and I want to address it from the issue of a cell phone. How many of you know when you have issues with your cell phone, in times past, we're used to going into a store, talking to a customer service rep, but now things, when you're having trouble with your phone and you get frustrated with different difficulties, you have to rely on many times an automated system. You don't talk to a human, but you talk to an automated system. So let's go to slide one. And what we're going to talk about in this presentation, number one, we're going to see how artificial intelligence is transforming customer service. Number two, automating tasks, improving response times. Thirdly, enhancing customer satisfaction. And then we're going to look deep into both the advantages and disadvantages of artificial intelligence as we stand in the world today. Next slide. So, first let's talk about what are the advantages of artificial intelligence. When you have computers replacing people, one of the advantages of artificial intelligence is it reduces time and cost. Time and cost. So that's what many businesses are trying to cut back so they can bring in more revenue, but they do that, first of all, most of the time by cutting people. Another advantage of artificial intelligence is constant availability across time zones. So it gives companies a chance to have a 24/7 somebody on call to handle any issues that may arise. Another advantage of artificial intelligence is it automates common tasks like billing inquiries. Many times, you have questions about your bill, why it may go up or go down, and a lot of times now you can't talk to a human, so they use artificial intelligence. You would just tell that system what your issue is, or vice versa. They may send you through a text, a live text, or they may say we will respond to your email in a certain time. So that saves companies money by using digital technology and resources to answer any questions customers may have. Lastly, we have it increases customer satisfaction for simple issues. Many of you, like me, you don't have a whole lot of patience when it comes to waiting in line to handle issues, especially about your cell phone, because you need it when you need it. But these are some of the advantages of why companies are utilizing artificial intelligence in customer service. Now, like everything else, it has its advantages and disadvantages. So let's look at what are the disadvantages of artificial intelligence in regards to customer service. Next slide. Another thing before we go to the disadvantage, let's go back to the enhancing efficiency for artificial intelligence. This is again part of the advantages. Again, it handles vast client communications, cost reduction by reducing workforce scaling, and again, we talked about the 24/7 customer support and expedited problem solving where you don't have to wait. So again, keep that in mind. Those are the advantages of utilizing artificial intelligence in our workplace. Next slide. Now, let's talk about the disadvantages of artificial intelligence, the downside of it. Why maybe we shouldn't resort to that. Number one, struggles with complex issues. Many times there are things that a person can do or individual can do that the computer cannot do or not do as well. So that is one of the main disadvantages of complex issues. Secondly, here it lacks human empathy and communication sensitivity. A lot of people, when you're going through something or have an issue with your device, you just want somebody to hear you and understand and maybe give you some clear communication as to how you can resolve the problem. Customer frustration due to technical limitations. If you like myself, if I call and I'm getting an automated system, it can become very frustrating because you want your issue resolved because, again, you're dependent upon your cell phone on certain things, so you need an answer and you need it right away. Lastly, cultural and language barriers aggravate the experience. I think that is personally, one of my main frustrations with artificial intelligence is when you call, if you're not getting an automated system, if you do get a human, it's hard to understand because of language barriers and dialect. So you have to keep asking them questions, or they may not understand you. So it becomes frustrating on both sides, from the customer and a company standpoint. Next slide. Now, what are the real world challenges in regards to artificial intelligence? What is it across the board that may be a challenge for companies and countries alike in implementing artificial intelligence in regards to customer service? Number one, AI falls short in personalized responses. Many of them have generic and responses already in, so whatever question you may ask it, it just may give you a generic response that is already pre-put into the system to answer the consumer's question. Number two, communication issues with non-native speakers. Again, that's what I was just talking about, how it can become frustrating when you have to listen to somebody, but you don't quite understand what they're saying because of a cultural difference. Third thing is clients feel disconnected from automated systems. They feel like you're not giving them personal service. They feel like they're just talking to a computer. So clients disconnect. And you possibly, run the risk of losing that customer due to that very reason when you rely so much on artificial intelligence. Last thing is complex issues unresolved by artificial intelligence systems. So therefore, there are times you cannot even get a response because maybe the system don't understand your issue. Maybe they don't have anything programmed in the system to answer the questions to your problem. Next slide. Again, we talked about this a few minutes ago here, the cultural barriers that affect artificial intelligence, language and accent issues, like I was just mentioning, cultural mismatch in communication style, and all struggles with cultural adaptation and customer service. So that is a main disadvantage why a lot of companies do not use artificial intelligence for these very reasons right here. Next slide. Now, let's talk about artificial intelligence and multicultural teams. So what many companies are doing now are they're composing teams from different backgrounds, different ethnic backgrounds, and different things. So what is the problem here? Now, what can artificial intelligence do in supporting these roles for everybody on the team? Let's look at that. One thing people like to use it because it facilitates productivity and decision making. Well, what they do, they compile the data they've gotten from these automated systems to put in one pool that determines how a company is going to go forward in the future in utilizing technology in regards to artificial intelligence. Another thing is the cultural difference impact the effectiveness of artificial intelligence. So the multicultural teams try to collaborate a way that this can work overall for all their consumers, customers, and the company alike. And lastly, what is the need for artificial intelligence with cultural intelligence? Better integration. How can they better integrate other technology and other systems into their current system to make it effective across the board, no matter what country you live in, no matter what language you speak? They want to find a standard packet or digital system that can be utilized with all customers within the network, especially, and I'm using the cell phone regards because it seems like in a times past, we would go in the store, you could talk to him, and you can still do it now, but a lot of times the wait times are so long. So this is why many people now are becoming more accustomed to utilizing artificial intelligence. Next slide. Now, so what is the policy development into artificial intelligence? Number one, let's talk about defining AI use in customer service. I think we've talked about this throughout the whole presentation and why companies are going to artificial intelligence, but we got to put some things in place to make sure these policies are the same across the board in some regards, but on the other side, they got to customize or tailor it to fit whatever country is utilizing this service. Number two, AI is good for common issues, but human complex issues, it still has a little work to do, and they're getting there. They're getting all the tweaks in and out of it. Next, AI must be culturally aware and adaptable. It's got to be adaptable for everybody. So again, this is one of the biggest challenges is coming, that it is effective and can be adapted to any culture that is involved. And some support for multi-languages and communication style. Many automated systems now go into a way they can interpret whatever language you speak, or if there are words you don't understand, it will automatically interpret it for a better understanding towards the customer. Next slide. So, conflict resolution and artificial intelligence. Anytime you're implementing something new in regards to technology, you're going to have conflict, you're going to have backlash from customers and consumers. So what can you do to try to resolve that conflict even before it happens and when it happens? Number one, there are many misunderstandings due to artificial intelligence failures. If you know technology, it can switch up on you sometime, and you can have some technical issues, but you need somebody to help you resolve it, especially when you need an answer immediately. Language recognition issues. There are times artificial intelligence cannot recognize certain languages because the system has not been programmed to interpret the material. Third thing is coming up with strategies, sensitivity training, and feedback mechanisms. I think artificial intelligence will become more effective when they get some more policies in place and also train multicultural people on how to resolve and deal with issues. So some feedback mechanisms, how you respond to conflict so you don't lose the consumer to another company. And why is it so important to have this cross-cultural communication in AI systems? Because we know the world works together. We all work together. We almost depend upon each other for survival and productivity. Next slide. So, I've given you today all the disadvantages and advantages for utilizing artificial intelligence. Because it seems like the world is going to a completely digital age, I believe, within the next, I would say, 15 to 30 years. So these are the things I think we need to focus on to ensure that everybody is doing what they're doing as far as utilizing artificial intelligence. Number one, AI enhances efficiency but struggles in complex situations. Number two, AI is cultural sensitivity is crucial throughout all our artificial intelligence systems. Organizations must implement policies to address all weaknesses with the system. And lastly, the future of AI in customer service depends on the companies and different cultures alike. So that is what I believe artificial intelligence is becoming a major piece of customer service. And while we're working out all the companies are working out all the kinks in it, I do believe that in the future, this will be the most effective way in dealing with customers because they will become used to it, and also there will be different ways they can resolve any potential issues with any products, again, like cell phone service. Thank you.